I'm back, a little bit more stabilized now. I'm broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook now. When I say things, I like it to be consistent on both platforms. When I was talking earlier, those videos was kind of all over the place because I was so agitated. So I deleted those videos, and I want to just recap everything that happened again in a much more calmer and more professional fashion than what I did earlier. My apologies, but sometimes when you're just pissed, you're pissed, and nothing else matters but it being made right. And so the first thing is, let me just explain what happened to me today. So I placed an order on iHeartJane yesterday evening. The dispensary was already closed. I was looking at a product, electric peanut butter breath by Galena's. It was listed at the Botanist Columbus for $149 for a half ounce, and it was also listed at 29% THC. So I went ahead, after consulting with my cannabis associates and my other friends in the community, said, "Oh, that's a probably good deal. You should go ahead and go for it." I did a review on the electric peanut butter breath, and it was good. So I have no complaint about the strain itself or the product itself from Galena's when I first tried it. So the only discrepancy for me was that I wasn't sure if the half ounce was a full budlet, smalls, or shake, or whatever. I was unclear about that, and I thought at the price, this has got to be buds. It didn't say smalls anywhere in the menu. And what I actually should have done is I should have contacted the dispensary before I left the house, or I should have contacted Galena's before I placed my order, and asked them. That was my mistake, and I need to own my own mistakes so that y'all don't make these same mistakes. So I did not check first with anybody to make sure that it was smalls or buds. When I got to the dispensary today to pick it up, I asked the lady, the bud tender, what the THC was on it, and she told me it was 28%. I informed her on iHeartJane it was listed at 29%. You're right, Justin. It's not my job to make sure they do a good job. You are so correct in saying that. And so, when the lady presented me with the package, she was, about 4 or 5 feet away, 6 feet away, socially distanced or whatever. And, I couldn't really see the package well. All I could see is the label. It was face down, essentially. Now, these new Galena bags, they do have a little window in the front of it, kind of nothing like Farks's window, but there's a way to see the material. And even at that distance, even if she would have held it up and said, "Here it is," even with my glasses on, I probably wouldn't have been able to, without doubt, from that distance, confirm visually that these were not smalls. Now, had I been able to confirm these were smalls before the transaction was completed, I would have refused the order. So what I need to make sure people understand, and this is the important part, is when you place an order online, especially when you do it the night before, you need to make sure, especially if you call the dispensary the next day and you can't get through, that as you're going through your checkout procedure, that you make sure that person shows you that product in a way that makes you feel satisfied that it's what you want. And that is the mistake that I made today, is that I did not make her do a full, show me the whole package all the way around. Let me look at it as close as I can. Let me look at it, inspect it a little bit closer. And that's my fault. That's on me. But I don't want you to make the same mistake I made today by not looking closely. So that's why the title of this video is Check Everything. What I mean, when you make your order at night, after you've made your order, especially if you're a veteran or an indigent, or even if you're not, what you need to do is break out a calculator, figure out the sales tax in that area, and make sure the information that you see on iHeartJane on your reservation is correct. The numbers add up correctly. If you have a printer, print your reservation out, take it with you. If you do not, take a picture with your phone, screenshot your calculations if you know how to do that. Maybe you don't, but just get a regular calculator and calculate it there and take a picture of what the total should be. And when you know your math is right, if you get to the dispensary and they quote you a different total that doesn't add up to what you expected, and it's more, even if it's just a few pennies, this is very important. It's just a few pennies. You still should question that. There is no few pennies. Oh, I calculated 120.45, but you calculated 120.75. If you calculated 120.45 and you're 100% positive that your math is correct, maybe you checked it with another friend. Maybe you checked it with a spouse or an AI of sorts. Whatever technology you use to verify your math is right. You go with what your math is. If their math doesn't match your math, something is wrong. And you need to take note. So don't let somebody overcharge you for something by 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent. Now, if you go there and they say, you calculated 120.45 and they just say it's 120 because they don't want the change issue right now, then that's a different story. It's different. You know, they just eating the change. That's a different story. But if it's where you're ending up paying more by a couple dollars, by a couple pennies, by a couple nickels, you should be saying something. And you should be documenting your receipt. If they give you any pushback, you should say something. And I don't mean just to Facebook either. I don't mean tell me either. I mean report it to the pharmacy board that you feel like you're being overcharged, that the amount doesn't add up correctly on the receipt to what you're calculating at home. And show them your receipt and say, hey, can you please check the receipt based on the sales tax in this area and confirm that that is the correct amount. Now, when it comes to the labeling, why I was so irate earlier is that, you know, a lot of cultivators are now marking their half-ounce packages as smalls. What I'm frustrated with is why can't we have both? Why can't we have some full bud size half ounces, and why can't we have some discounted small half ounces? Why are we getting only a lot of these smalls packs and not the big buds and the halves? Everybody's trying to sell us a bunch of 2.8s. And we're paying more when we buy a bunch of 2.8s than we are if we just buy the half ounce. You know, a classic example would be typical price of a 2.8 of Galena's product. At that price, you're spending somewhere up around $200 for a half ounce. That's not a good price. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's a good price. It's too high. So that's something that, okay, Justin, you said, where are the county sales tax listed? You can just Google any county you want and type in sales tax for Franklin County, sales tax for Hamilton County, sales tax, whatever. Bloom puts the sales tax right at the top of their website. I thank you for doing that, Bloom, because a lot of people don't understand that in different jurisdictions, you're going to pay more because the tax is higher. I've said this before, but I'll give you guys the example again. If you live in Hamilton County or near Cincinnati, if you shop in Cincinnati, the tax rate in Cincinnati for sales tax is 7.8%. It's one of the highest rates in the state. So I'm a little frustrated for my people in Cincinnati who are overpaying for cannabis by design, essentially. And what I would like to see happen, one of the things that I'm fighting for is a universal sales tax. Why? Then we can all be on the same tax rate. The state still makes money. The county still makes money. But it's even across the board. Even if we had to go to the extreme of 7% flat. Do y'all know what some of the sales tax rates are in other states for medical cannabis? It's double, triple what our tax rate is. We have a low sales tax rate. Even if we look at all the different rates, ours is low. And we don't want them to raise it, but we would like to see it level off a little bit. I mean, you know, 7%, 7.25%. I mean, that somewhere in there. I mean, take consensus. What are most people paying for taxes and get a good rate? What's up, Brian? And it's just really hard for people to be able to keep track, especially if you're a person like me. I go to more than one dispensary, so I have to know the sales tax rate at every dispensary I go to. If I go to London, it's 7%. If I go to Logan, it's 7.25%. If I'm in Columbus, it's 7.5%. If I go to Carroll, it's 6.75%. If I go to Lebanon, it's different. It's cheaper there. So if you live in Cincinnati and you tired of paying higher, tell your local leaders to lower the goddamn tax rate there. They raised it during the pandemic by 0.8%. And y'all allowed them to. You said go right ahead. We were distracted. They pulled one right over us. And that affects everything. It doesn't even not just cannabis, but everything you do in Cincinnati, you're paying more than everybody else. By almost 0.5%. 0.8% increase during the pandemic? Is that fair? Hell no, it ain't fair. Hell no, it ain't fair. And so, we are at a point, I'm at a point now where, if we don't start working together to hold people accountable by having meetings and emails, meeting with lawmakers, talking to people in our community and organizing everybody together, this thing's gonna fall apart quick. And everybody just dreaming about recreational and home grow. If we can't get together on the simplest things with our own program, how are we going to get together for home grow or recreational? If we don't have people registered to vote, how's it going to get through the vote? How are we going to vote for it? If you ain't registered to vote, how are you going to vote for legalization of cannabis? Magic? Through your phone? Through Facebook? You hit the like button, I voted. I'm for home grow, click like. That don't do nothing. So if we want to change, if you want home grow, you want recreational, you want delivery, you want all these things, you are going to have to start doing stuff, getting involved, trying to figure out how you can do your part. Because if you're sitting here waiting on me to do all the work, or the other advocates that have been doing all this work, or trying to meet with these people, you are going to be waiting for a long time. You just are. And I'm here to tell y'all want a lot of things to change, but you are telling the wrong audience. You're telling each other. You need to tell them. And when I say them, I mean your local leaders, your legislators, your lawmakers, your governor, your senators, your state, local representatives. That's who you need to be talking to. Because they don't give a damn about Facebook. They don't give a damn about Reddit. They don't give a damn about Discord. And they don't give a damn about YouTube. And they ain't watching them videos. And they ain't reading your comments. So my idea, and has been the idea for the last 2 years, is for a public town hall forum with legislators, patients, law enforcement, LLCs, senators, governors, all of them, the church, bring everybody. Because until we get everybody on the same page about cannabis in general, CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, and all the rest of these other cannabinoids that we don't know nothing about. And it ain't going to change until we get all these conditions on the medical qualification list. Autism, opiate addiction, and I could name them all, but let's just say it, man. I mean, there's so many more conditions that are not on the list that are missing. But I'm just giving you, opiate addiction would be a huge one. Autism, anxiety. I mean, I could go on. But the point of the matter is that if we're not doing anything, and I do mean we, us, ain't nothing gonna get better. Nothing. And we cannot sit here and wait back and spend all our time talking about what the cultivators did and didn't do, what the dispensary did and didn't do, and why they doing this and why they're doing that. Well, who enforcing them? The government. So who do we need to get it straight? The government. When a crime is committed, who do you call? Do you call Facebook or do you call the police? I'm just saying. Because I read a lot of comments, and it's the same thing over and over again. Growers ain't doing enough. Facebook, the dispensaries didn't do this, didn't do that, and I'm right here with you. I'm the same. I'm no different than you. I feel the same way you do. But at the same time, I'm calling these people, and I'm calling them out on these things, because I'm tired of it, and I'm tired of people saying stuff and nobody's listening. So the goal is to get this meeting together. And I just want to update you on a 2-year project. I've been talking to these legislators, and they said they think they can pull some people together who will listen to us on both sides. Bipartisan. Okay? Now, I've been holding back and telling y'all about this because I know I got a lot of naysayers and, frankly, haters out there. But at the end of the day, if you didn't agree with me now, what say you if I get the legislators to actually show up to the meeting? Are you going to be there to tell them what's up? Or are you going to wait and let Anthony Riley do all the work? I want y'all to help me. I'm not doing all this by myself. I'm telling you, if I don't start seeing people stand up with me, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I'm not talking about just commenting on Facebook saying I can help you. What do you want me to do? I give y'all the same instructions every week. All the time. Contact your local leaders. Don't be afraid of them. You got a license. They can't do nothing to you. And don't let them tell you they can, because they can't. You got a state issued license, like having a driver's license. I got a license to hold this PAX in my hand, and I got a license, Mr. YouTube and Facebook, to do exactly what I'm getting ready to do right now. And you know what that is? I'm going to hit my legally state-approved vaporizer that costs way too much money, but does the job. But I'm just saying, I can't even smoke a joint with y'all right now because of a stupid rule that everybody let happen. Nobody said outrage. We're going to get outraged over Delta 8 first. What about not being able to smoke a joint on camera? We ain't outraged about that. What about the fact that some of these dispensaries don't even have a handicap spot to park in, or they only have one? Where's the outrage about that? Where is it? I don't see it. Where is the outrage? If you can put so much energy into complaining about LLCs and whatever else their problems are, then why can't you turn that same energy into going after the people who those LLCs are responsible for answering to? I'm just telling you, it is simply impossible for this to go any further unless people start actually saying, what's up with this? Where is the tier system? Where is it? Why is it still here? I expect people to be contacting the pharmacy and saying, why can't we get this tier system dropped, Mr. Pharmacy? Is it that hard? Why can't we get a straight answer on it? This is people's lives at stake, man. Lives. People are getting cured from this medicine. It's making them better. It's improving their quality of life. But there are a lot of people who can't get it. A lot of minorities who won't touch this stuff. A lot of people like me, look like me, that says, man, I ain't messing with that stuff. All them chemicals, all the drama I hear about on your videos about it, I'll pass. So how can we even expect our program to even stay afloat in business if we can't even get them to fix it? This is never going to happen. And I'm telling you, Facebook is not a problem solver. It is just a place for us to go in here and vent and complain and going, yeah, me too, yeah, me too, yeah, me too. Guess what? Mr. Zuckerberg doesn't care about our cannabis problems. If he did, he'd be sharing it with the leaders themselves and put it on their feed so they could see what we're saying. Well, wait, they can't do that because all our groups are private. So they can't see what we're saying anyway. They're not in our private groups, are they? Are they? Or are they? Are they? I don't know. You tell me. And so the only way that they know what's going on is me doing these videos. Other than that, they ain't hearing from y'all. They ain't hearing nothing from y'all. They hearing from this one guy on YouTube, Facebook, who... So until they hear from you, ain't nothing gonna get better. Ain't nothing gonna get better. So what I'm telling you now, I'm gonna say it like I said it yesterday. The number one way to get lawmakers to listen is to talk to them in a nice and professional way. And that is exactly what we're gonna do. So if you have things you want your legislators to hear, start thinking about that. Because when this meeting comes up, this ain't gonna be the Zoom and Toke. This is gonna be the one that the media probably will be at, and people will be listening. A lot of people who can do something will be listening. So this may be the only chance we get. The only one. I mean, 2 years later, we're still demanding a public hearing out in the open. And this might be our chance to do this. And we might even be able to do it in person. So we got to act now. We can't wait. We can't wait. And again, like I said, I'm going to close this video by saying it like I said it earlier. Check everything. Check the harvest date. Check the terpenes. Make sure it's everything you want before you give them your money and walk away with it. Don't expect them to fix anything for you after you've already paid for it. I just want to say it clearly. I don't expect the botanist to do nothing about my little complaint. I don't expect Galenas to do nothing about my complaint. And I'm not going to be on the internet going on and on. Don't buy Galenas. Don't buy Galenas. Don't buy Galenas. I may not buy Galenas, and that's my choice until they fix their problem. But that's my choice. That doesn't mean I'm going to tell you don't buy their stuff, or I'm going to sit up here and say that they're a horrible company. I'm just saying they can do better. They're going to do better. How about that? They're going to do better. And every time somebody speaks out about something that's not right and they hear about it, guess what? They try to fix it, because LLCs are listening. They are on social media. They do read our posts. They are in some of these groups, and they can hear us. But they're not allowed to say nothing because of you know who said don't talk to them. So this is why you have to talk to those legislators and let them know that, they're driving a wedge between the patient and the LLCs, and then, nothing's getting done. So we have to come together. I don't care if you agree with everything I say or not. If you want something to get fixed, then I'm waiting to work with you. But if you want to keep getting on Facebook and talking trash about me, or complaining about the program and complaining about the LLCs, and never actually see nothing change other than somebody getting a discount or something, or somebody doing something else, that ain't fixing nothing for everybody else. And just saying you want home grow, and that's not going to fix everything overnight either. Even if home grow is legal tomorrow, how would that necessarily help people who live in an apartment and want a home grow? There ain't going to be a lot of home grow in their apartment. So we need patient rights and protections first, before we can jump into getting into everything else we want. Home grow, rec, and no tier. And what about patient rights and protections? What about them? Don't you want to be protected from employment, housing discrimination, insurance, and medical treatment discrimination? Because you're a cannabis user, we can't give you your pain management medicine now because you're on medical marijuana. So if you want to get your opiates, then you have to give up your medical marijuana card. Or you'll have to go to my guy who charges the most out of everybody else if you want to keep both. Because medical marijuana can make you overdose. You know it ain't true. So you know I'm being overly dramatic. But I'm just saying, it's silly. It's silly. What's up, Nebula Orion? We have the money that they need. We are the voice. Exactly. If we stop spending money, then the program goes. So that's why we have to be speaking out as a cannabis community, as a united community, about patient rights and protections, patient access, which goes back into the handicap accommodations, etc. The delivery that we don't have, that other states have. Um, Again, I'm very pissed that I can't really find any accommodations for blind or deaf people. Maybe I'm overlooking it. I have a brain injury, so I can't see everything. But if you've seen some accommodations for deaf or blind in any dispensary with any product in this program, I want to hear from you. If you're deaf or blind and you can somehow hear me or see what I'm saying right now or something, I want to meet you and I want to hear what your concerns are. I want to speak to the deaf and blind community. I want to speak to the Latinx community. I want to hear your concerns about what you think is missing from this program that would make it easier for you to get your medicine, because that's what matters to me. More than Delta 8, more than all these other things, what matters is people being able to get their medicine at a reasonable price and be able to get medicine that they feel comfortable with, that they know where it came from, they knew how it was produced, they knew who grew it, they knew all the ins and outs. Because transparency goes a long way. The only reason I can get on here and talk to you guys the way I do about some of these things is because I was made up my mind at the very beginning. That I was going to be Mr. Inspector. I had to go in there and see what they was selling us. What kind of chemicals they were using. How are they growing it? What kind of water were they using? What kind of lights are they using? How are they controlling mold prevention? What is their mold prevention method? What is their pesticide prevention method? What kind of machines do they test out of? How long is the harvest? How much material are they growing at one time? How is it stored? I could go on. I went and looked. And I encourage you to do the same. Because don't let me just be the messenger. Be the person to see for yourself. So, I would like to see virtual tours be a thing. People that can't get out and get to these places to be able to see exactly what I saw. Because it's important that we know what's going on with our cultivators and that we understand how they're making our products. I think a video on how gummies are made would be awesome. A video on how concentrates are made would be awesome. A video on how Delta 8 is made in-house would be awesome. I'd love to see that happen. I think that there is a lot of educational material that could be created professionally with LLCs, me, and the state as well, as part of a public education campaign about the Ohio medical marijuana program. Right now, it looks like it's a bad thing for people, and that's why people are running away from it, and running to Michigan. Let me go get my Detroit hat. So, hey, Tony S. What's up, man? I'm still here chopping it up with y'all, man. I'm just out here in my garage right now. I'm not showing you the rest of my garage because I hate my garage. Because I need to finish it off. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to physically do that. And I'm going to have to pay somebody to do it. But this wall that I'm behind right here, I actually paid somebody to paint this wall. Because when I moved in the house, it looked like Swiss cheese. Somebody had just took like a bunch of thumbtacks and went. And then these little marks, you can't really see them that much. But right here, this is all where these people was just, whoever lived here just destroyed this wall. So I had to get it fixed. I know you will. I know you will, man. Yeah. So yeah, my garage it's just needs some TLC. Just needs some rehabbing. But yeah, my guy Brian, Diamond Cut Painting, he cut this in for me, made this look like a wall again. He made my wall look good. I'm not gonna say what you thought I was gonna say. No, we're not gonna do that. My wall is nice. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say what you thought I was gonna say. Yeah. I mean, okay, but okay, Steven. I think you're right. But just imagine the whole wall, like all the way to the garage door, had holes in it, man. Like, what kind of dartboard did they have? It was from here. Let me show you. From here all the way down to here. This whole thing was just dart holes. It was like Swiss cheese all the way through. I mean, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. But I don't know. I just think it was, and then they they didn't drywall the walls like you should. Instead, they put wood paneling. It's old 1960s house. So they put like this wood paneling on the wall instead of drywall. Why? You know. So what I had to do if I want to drywall it is pull all this wood off, see what's behind it, because I don't know if there's anything behind it, whether they insulated or not. These people half-ass built this house, to be honest with you. I don't know what's behind the wall other than bugs. So one day we may see it. And then the ceiling, I wanted to drop it. I mean, I just wanted to make it more like a 2000s type house. All those houses, their garages are finished and they got nice fancy walls up and it's all nice and neat. And that's what I wanted to do. But you know, these older houses are a lot more work than I thought. So, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, they was just going crazy with darts here. I think, you know, we're gonna get things better. And so, like I said, as soon as I have the next meeting with them, which is on the 24th, to discuss their progress on getting people together, I'll try to find out how many lawmakers do we got together so far. Just so you know, I talked to Senator Yuko. Senator Yuko is the co-author of House Bill 523, which is our medical marijuana program. Although since it's been activated, he's had very little input or any type of, he doesn't have any authority or anything to do anything. He's more of an observer at this point. But he would like to see some things be corrected and straightened out with this program. So we hopefully will be working on something in the summer to try to get people together. I've been speaking with Representative Juanita Brent. She is one of the representatives up in Cleveland. Many of you know they was working on another bill which would have been a decriminalization type bill, but it also had the homegrown and everything in it. I think it's House Bill 210, but don't quote me. There's so many little bills going around that are not going anywhere. But you know, I told her, I said, the only way that we're going to make progress is if we talk to people. We can't just expect everybody to get the information by emails and YouTube. We've got to talk to people. So, you know, I told her, I said, do you think you can get lawmakers that help, you know, write laws together in a meeting so patients could talk to them about these things that we talk about all the time on social media? And her answer was yes. So I've challenged her, and I'm hoping that she can pull through for us and make this happen. And I think that she and Senator Yuko, if we can work them together in their own aspects of where they are in government, try to work to get other people to listen. Because like I said, it has to be bipartisan no matter what. It just does. And we need to make sure that everyone is on the same educational page about the benefits of cannabis and how it's helping people, especially with drug addiction. I think that will be a great selling point for recreational, honestly. And also for just selling them in general. Like, I mean, it's something that everybody all agrees needs to be addressed. And everyone thinks we need to reduce the amount of opiates being passed around in Ohio. And the answer to that is cannabis. And it's in a low cost when we compare what it costs for opiates. I mean, yes, opiates are being given for free if you're on Medicaid or certain insurance plans, but there are people who don't get that, and they have to pay for those opiates and at cost. And it may not sound like a lot of money to somebody, but it's not cheap. It's not that cheap. It's not much more than what you pay in the street, to be honest. So there are people who pay for these pain meds. And I know a lot of people say, well, I'm going to go back to opiates because it's cheaper. Don't assume because you don't have to pay that somebody else has to pay. Because a person on Medicare, for example, their medicine's only covered at 80%. So they still end up having a copay. And those copays can add up on a person quite quickly. I had to file bankruptcy to get out of a Medicare copay debacle. So I paid for my medicine before. So I know what it's like to have to pay out of pocket for blood work, tests, procedures, treatments. So don't take that free medicine you get under your insurance for granted, because there's a lot of people out here don't get that benefit and don't have that benefit at all. So a lot of people don't have insurance at all. So when you think about it like that, if we could get to better access on the cannabis, then that's going to definitely make a difference for those people who are trying to decide, should I just get some cannabis or should I keep paying for these opiates? And I think that's going to help. You know, people with their livers, because opiates destroy your liver. Let me be a testament to that. I have cirrhosis of the liver. Part of it, maybe because I drank when I was younger, but part of it was definitely because they were giving me all these medicines that I didn't need. They told me I had fibromyalgia. They were wrong. I have arthritis. Two totally different conditions. I had to fight to get them to take the fibromyalgia diagnosis off of my medical file because it was false. And I would have problems and they would say, oh, you just have fibromyalgia. You're fine. You have fibromyalgia. You're fine. I said, no, sir. I have arthritis. Confirmed by x-rays and imaging. You can't confirm diddly squat with fibromyalgia. There's no x-ray to oh, it's fibromyalgia. Oh, let me do the ultrasound. Oh, it's fibromyalgia. Oh, let me do a CAT scan. Oh, it's fibromyalgia. So, I really, for a long time, thought, well, man, if they get people thinking they have fibromyalgia and they really don't, then they start treating themselves as if they have this condition that they don't really have. That's what happened to me. And so they was treating me with a medication for fibromyalgia, but I didn't have fibromyalgia. I had all kind of other problems. I had a stomach problem. I had liver disease. I had fatty liver disease. I had asthma. I had arthritis. I had spurs. I had a degenerative disc disease. I had a damaged lumbar spine from a fall I had. I had other documented problems, but because it was easier to say he has fibromyalgia and not treat me for anything or not offer me any pain meds, like, we're not giving you pain meds. We don't give pain meds for fibromyalgia. We give you some Lyrica. And you want to know what Lyrica did to me? Y'all want to know what that you know what that did to me? You see? Gave me boobs. Boobs. Don't take Lyrica if you're a guy. So this is why I feel real strongly about don't take opiates. Don't take pain pills, especially if you're not 100% sure that's even what the condition is. I'll tell y'all one more story before I go. Blow your mind. Blow your mind. So 2016, I was having chest pain. A lot. And so I thought, oh, it's just I had acid reflux, diagnosed me with that. So acid reflux, chest pain. I told myself it was acid reflux. I let them believe it was acid reflux. So they were giving me acid reflux medicine. It's giving me acid reflux medicine. Not getting better. I'm still having chest pains. So, somebody was like, man, maybe you need to see a cardiologist. I was like, well, they had already said they done enough tests. Not my heart. Can't be your heart. It's not your heart. Period. Somebody said, man, get a second opinion. Go talk to a heart doctor just to make sure. Because they be lying. They don't know what they're saying. So I talked to the heart doctor. And she goes, well, yeah, I think it's something else. I don't think it's chest. I don't think it's heart related. Just based on everything you said, I don't think so. All right. He says, well, I'm going to do a stress test on you. And if that comes back normal, this is case closed. You're fine. You don't have any heart conditions at all. You're good. So I do the stress test, and there's findings. It appears there's a blocked artery. So now they're like, oh, we got to do a heart catheter. So I'll make it a long story short. I do the heart catheter. They go in there to put the stent in there to open up the artery, and they find out, according to them, and they didn't say this at the time, but this is what the conclusion has been after years of fighting with them, is that there was no blocked artery. The stress test was wrong. There's a 15% chance that a nuclear stress imaging test with an imaging system and this medicine they give you can be wrong 15% of the time. And it's like, unfortunately, you must have fell in that 50% window. So for several years, they listed me as having coronary artery disease, CAD, C-A-D. Many of you probably have heard of it. It's a common diagnosis for people, especially people of color. And so for several years, I'm walking around having chest pain. They telling me the chest pain is not related to your heart condition. There's no way it's connected. Something else is wrong with you. It's not your heart. I'm still having all kinds of chest pain. Going to the emergency room. They put me on all those machines, EKG, IVN. And, oh, you're fine. You're not having a heart attack. Get out of here. Over and over and over. It's like, oh man, I don't understand. So finally, after going through the Cleveland Clinic, OSU, and finally to Ohio Health again, I get this doctor. He goes, I'm sorry, man. I don't think you have heart disease at all. Like, period. I said, prove it. He says, okay. Now this guy he graduated from Harvard and Yale at the same time. He has a degree from Harvard and a degree from Yale. Now I know all of y'all have heard of Harvard and you've heard of Yale College. These are very prestigious, top schools. If you go to these schools, and he just didn't go to one, he went to both of them. Now he ain't smart. I don't know who is. So he orders this very expensive, very high quality imaging test that the insurance don't want to pay for. They're like, why are we doing this? He's got heart disease, and we know this. There's nothing wrong with him. We don't see the point. They deny, but I got the test, and it was what he said. He was like, I don't see anything wrong. I don't see any problems. I said, where's that blocked artery they saw that they didn't stent? He was like, man, they told you that because if they would have admitted to you that they did an unnecessary heart catheter, you would have sued their ass. He didn't say it in them exact words, but that was his assumption. Yeah. Yeah, you would have, that would have been a lawsuit. That's what he said. It is a damn lawsuit. You understand what I'm telling y'all? He told somebody you had heart disease, put it on your record. I made them put it in writing because they was like, they wrote in there, has heart disease without angina, which means that he has heart disease, but his chest pain he doesn't have chest pain, but I have chest pain. But they're saying it's non-cardiac chest pain. Stick with me here. Non-cardiac chest pain. Anybody can have this. Heartburn, gas, acid reflux. Oh, no. Like I said, I'm summarizing this for you. The conclusion was, this doctor who went to Harvard and Yale, very well-known heart cardiologist through Ohio Health, I'm not going to say his name, but I don't think you have heart disease. He ran 4 more tests. Like, let's just nail it down. Like, let's do a stress test. Let's do a circulation test. Let's do CAT scan, echo, all that stuff. No evidence of heart disease whatsoever. Nowhere. Zero. Okay? So then, I'm like, well, what is the chest pain? What's the problem? So I finally get the right person in gastrology, enterology, or whatever, and go back through some stuff the Cleveland Clinic had did that they just kind of whizzed through because they were so busy hating on me about being a marijuana patient. Come to find out, I had a 1 centimeter hiatal hernia. And guess what one of the most common symptoms of a hiatal hernia is? Chest pain. And so, the reason that I had chest pain wasn't acid reflux, wasn't heart disease, wasn't fibromyalgia, it wasn't me being a hypochondriac. It was because I had a very well and very clearly imaged 1 centimeter hiatal hernia. And if you have acid reflux in conjunction with a hiatal hernia, those two things together can simulate very similar symptoms to cardiac chest pain. Mystery solved. But at the end of the day, this is the kind of stuff that other patients are going through. That's why I told y'all this story. Is that there are many, many people who are being treated for things that they really don't have. And because we have gotten used to them doctors just telling us things, and we're not really going back in and reading the notes and reading the report ourselves and trying to interpret what are they telling us. And then going back and say, I read this here in the report, and they pointed out that I had a tumor There was 1.1 centimeters inches in there. Should I be worried about that tumor? Oh no, it's no worry. Don't worry about that, man. It's no big deal. But at least you know you had a tumor in there. Instead of them just saying everything was normal, and then you had a tumor. And that's great, Stephen, that you have doctors that are, and like I said, I've had that experience, but I've had a few doctors who have pretended like they were cool with it, and then they really wasn't, and then their behavior became suspicious and unprofessional, and I had to say, what's going on? What's going on? Why are you acting so weird? You know, some people act out of character. You know something's wrong. Pain doctors. All right, this is the last story, and I'm leaving. Pain doctors. Let me tell y'all the story about pain management. Because I feel very strongly about pain management doctors. And I hope some pain management doctors is watching this video now. Let me tell you about pain management doctors. So, remember, they told me I had fibromyalgia, and I was hypochondriac, and I had all these pain, and I got pain everywhere. I just got pain, you know. Nothing we can do for you, Mr. Riley, because you got a bunch of pain. Here goes some pain pills. Get out of here. But at one point, somebody says, man, have you ever considered trying pain management? I said, I went there one time, and I told them I used marijuana to kick me out of there and said they'll never service me. It was like, oh, okay. All right, well, I got another guy. I don't think he's really going to rag you too much about that. But especially with the attitude you have that you don't like opiates, he probably won't treat you like that. He might not even offer you no opiates. Matter of fact, when you get there, tell him you're not pressed for him. So I go see the pain management guy against my better judgment. And he's like, you know, I don't even really go into the marijuana thing. I just don't mention it. I'm not even going to bring it up. He asked, and he'll see it in my drug test. So, you know, we go through the whole spiel. I tell him about my experience with opiates and how I really try not to be wrapped up in all these contracts. I don't want a contract. I'm not signing no contract with the devil. That's what I call it. I'm not signing no contract for your pain pills. You can keep them. I'm not interested. And he goes, well, okay. I can give you an injection in your back. An epidural, like the ones, you know, when you're having a baby, those. He's like, but we got a way to do it where it's not that bad and blah, 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 blah. I said, well, you know, in an effort to avoid taking pain pills and not be on a pain prescription and a contract, I'm crazy for saying this, but hell, I'll try it. So I tried a couple times. Feel better for a few months. It's like, okay. But then what I realized was, this isn't a one-time deal. This isn't a second-time deal. This isn't even a third-time deal. So by we got to like the fourth or fifth time, I said, hold on, bro. Hold up, man. Wait a minute. How many more injections you gonna put me under for this, man? This is a pain. This is a pain to do. I'm not really seeing a long-term benefit. Cross town, long way from home. I'm like, I don't want to do it. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, man, you might have to come back for 6 months to a year. I'm like, okay. Key word, you might not have to come back. So I did the nerve block, ended up in the emergency room because I couldn't walk the next day. It hurt so bad. And they was like, what is your problem? I called an ambulance to my house for the first time. They was like, what's the problem? He said, he can't get up off the couch. Yeah, right, get up, man. I said, no, you're not hearing me. I can't get up. It hurts too much. I've already tried this several times. When I called 911, I can't get up off my couch. They scooped me up, put me on the gurney, took me to the emergency room, told me I was out of my mind. They acted like I just didn't have some guy burn a nerve in my back and that it could have caused some neurological damage of some sort. They act like they didn't care. So you know I wasn't going back to the pain clinic after that shit. You hear what I'm saying? But I ended up going back, and he was like, here, man, I'm sorry about that happening, man. Here's some pain pills. I'll give you some pain pills, man. Let's try that for a little while, man. I said, I'm not signing no contract. He said, I know. You already told me. You already made it clear you're not signing no paperwork on it. I said, I'm not. But eventually I said, man, nah, I just feel right to me. I said, I'm going to end all business with you. Keep your prescription. I don't want to be on nobody's radar. I'm not taking no PP. I'm tired of taking drug tests. I'm not a drug addict, so I'm not taking drug tests to get a pain pill. Bye. So, I know people are in pain. And, I'm really frustrated that we have gotten to tell you your ailments are, that fixes it or heals it or makes it more manageable. But taking pain pills is never going to be a long-term solution, simply on the fact that it damages other organs. You can't live on pain medicine forever. You will inevitably have liver damage. You will inevitably have liver failure. It's marijuana that you marijuana. It is never gonna hurt your liver. Am I right about that? You could drink, you could smoke all the medical marijuana, all the weed you want. Is it gonna hurt you like alcohol does? Because alcohol will tear up your liver too. I'm a witness to that. So the fact that I live, I know what I'm talking about here. This ain't me giving you my opinion. I'm telling you, I drank alcohol and I had prescription medications that damaged my liver. Now that I've been using more cannabis, they can't even explain my liver situation right now. They thought they was going to find bleeding the other day. They didn't find it. They're like, it's a miracle. I don't understand. There's usually always blood in there. Boy, Mastermind used a lot of cannabis. Yes, you're right. People develop a tolerance to various pain medications. And another thing about opiates that really has been a big problem is this Tylenol cut, this antihistamine. Most patients that get pain medicine don't get pure pain medicine. They get cut pain medicine. When I say cut, I mean it's cut with Tylenol or ibuprofen or something like that. And again, hurtful and harmful to your liver. So get pain pills, and they already cutting them. Everybody complain about them cutting the weed with CBD, which ain't a chemical. It's a cannabinoid. It comes in cannabis naturally, and is natural occurring in hemp that you can just put in. It's not a chemical as sorts of cannabinoid. It's not a chemical. It's a cannabinoid. I'm still trying to practice saying that word, cannabinoid. So real plant medicine. And I mean, there are other plants besides cannabis that also have great benefits, and we should also start looking at some of those. It's a lot. I mean, I'm learning about poppy seeds. You eat poppy seeds, it tests positive for opiates. How's that? Man, I could probably just go out here and eat some poppy seeds, and I don't even need their opiates. I got some poppies. Y'all want to see them? Y'all want to see my poppies? I believe in growing my own vegetables, and so something I think I should do if I do garden. I'm trying to do a garden this year. To just kind of show you guys some of the things that I grow in the summer, because I try to be self-sustaining on things. Obviously, I'm not growing marijuana, but we do grow vegetables, and we're trying to grow a lemon tree right now. It takes a few years for it to actually produce lemons, but lemon has a lot of great healing properties, and we use it on everything. I don't use salt. I use lemon instead of salt, and I lemon on my chicken and lemon on my steak. Not a lot, just a little bit. And it helps me with my mood and everything. I don't know why, it just does. You're in a rut right now. All you can do is lay back and take this. I understand, like I said, that sometimes the concentrates are the only things that will kind of help bring me to where I need to be. And it could be the best flower on earth, and it still may not do it. I still might need to add on some tinctures, some dabs, and some gummies all at once. I mean, in a day, guys, I could tell you, I don't just burn medical material flour. Like I said, I do concentrates, and I do tinctures. I don't do a lot of edibles right now, but because of my diabetes, I do things in which terpenes do nothing. They might smell great, but that particular terpene, I found a couple terpenes actually make me itch. I love the material, I love the effects, but I don't like the itchy feeling, because when I take pain medicine, it makes me itch. So when I take some stuff and it makes me itch, it's not that it's bad. It's just that one of those terpenes in there is messing with my skin for whatever reason. I think I don't even know which terpene it is yet, but I think there is one in there that's giving me the itchies. It's not real bad, but it is not that great either. I don't like itching. It's like you feel you got bit by a mosquito or something. Yeah, I mean that's a good base. 100 milligrams of THC a day. That's not bad at all. I mean, if you're getting in a good solid dose like that, and you've got it regulated to a regimen that you can stick to on a daily basis that you do every day, now you're medicating on a regimen, and that's something we need to all work on too. A lot of people just do it as needed, but if we build a regimen and build some type of platform of how to schedule it, like sativa in the morning, man, but all that sativa indica stuff is just kind of like a reference point, like for the flower itself to me. Like, okay, something that sativa is going to be up versus an indica, which is going to keep me more of a down, calm. And then the hybrid is I'm in the middle. That's the only thing I use it for. I don't think of, oh, this strain is a sativa, and then no, I'm thinking, well, probably what the terpene makeup is, it's probably going to give me that espresso type effect. But some people get anxiety when they get too much sativa, and that's something that we have to be mindful of. If you do too much sativa and you're not really comfortable with it, then it can create an anxiety effect, kind of make you feel like you're having a seizure or something. Or if you're having a heart attack. I mean, I've been through it, so I know what it's like. A lot of people say, I don't know what you're talking about. Never had that problem. One day in life, you'll have it. If you do a lot of cannabis material, one day you'll hit your ceiling, as I call it. I call it maxing out. One day when you max out, you'll know it. You'll be like, oh, I did way too much shit. Or you'll be like, man, something's wrong with this weed. Something's wrong with this medicine. Oh, man. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, man. Oh. Yeah. I personally experienced it. Not just making jokes with you. So that's why you gotta learn where your ceiling is. And I figured out, like he said, mine is about 100 milligrams a day. If I go a little bit over that, I start to feel headaches. Oh, I did way too many dabs, or I did way too much material, and that can happen. Just like a can with alcohol. It's the same type of feeling. It's very similar. It's all hybrid. It's most impossible to have a straight sativa. Well, I just don't really believe these labels are really definitive of any plant. I mean, with so many different strains and so many different variations, so many crossbreeds, taking a hybrid and mixing it with an indica, taking a sativa, mixing it with a hybrid, calling it a 50-50. Like, did you take the molecules and split it in half in the lab and okay, here's half of lemon drop, a seed of ice cream cake. It's an indica. It's lemon drop ice cream cake. Copyright pending. You get out of here. Sales stuff, man. Just like the tier system. It's sales stuff. The whole reason we can't get rid of the tier system, sales. It's a sales thing. When they get rid of that tier system, no longer be pricing it based on this THC. Oh, it won't matter no more. That's why I want it gone. All right, I'm gone. I've been on it for an hour. I will see you guys later. I'll do some more impromptu videos like this to communicate with y'all and hang out with y'all. And you didn't hit the like button already, do that. If you didn't hit the subscribe button already, do that. If you're watching me on Facebook, make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get the update. And like I said, I'll be with y'all all the time, because I'm always online 24 hours most of the time. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.